04 to 17, 18 to 21. I've played the show. Hell, I've played it since before it was called the show. I'm frustrated right now because obviously year-to-year saves have been taken away from MLB The Show. We're not getting it back, or at least we're not getting it back this upcoming year, according to the company, SDS. And I'm starting to really question, why should anyone with a PlayStation 5 specifically, why should we get MLB The Show 22? Sounds of the show was taken out coming into 21. I'm going to assume, and I've heard around the grapevine, that a lot of that has got to do with the fact that Xbox did not want it, and probably more likely MLB, the company, the league themselves, didn't want Xbox to start off with a quote-unquote disadvantage, having something that they can't do on their system that the PlayStation can do on theirs. But there's a problem with that. Xbox has Game Pass. Sony does not have any equivalent to that. So, Game Pass is, if you don't already know, you get basically any game that Xbox puts out, any of the previous games, any of the newer games, you get it for a subscription price, which I'm not sure what it is at the moment because I currently don't have an Xbox Series at all. Switch, I'm glad you guys are finally getting some kind of game. I think you guys might have had 2K as a AAA sports game. I don't think you guys had Madden in any shape or form in a very long time, if not ever. You guys might not have had Madden going back to GameCube, for all I know. And they've got portability. So, again, I'm glad that Switch owners are getting, the ability to take their MLB The Show experience any way that they feel. Hell, I miss playing, what was the last one I had? I actually don't have it here in this pile. But one of the MLB The Shows on the PSP. I used to take that damn thing everywhere. I broke my damn PSP a long while back. Honestly, I think I might look into getting another one. But nonetheless, Switch owners are going to get that, nostalgia feel that I wish I could get with PlayStation. PlayStation didn't exactly do a whole lot with the Sony Vita. That is what it is. Maybe they come out with a future handheld device, but I'm not expecting it. So here's Sony PlayStation. What do we have that is going to sell somebody that can even get their hands on a PS5? I got lucky. As I had a friend who knew somebody who I think knew somebody that worked at GameStop, and they were able to hold one for me. He got it. My best friend got it. He held on to it. I met up with him about halfway between where I live in New York City to get it. So I got lucky about almost a year ago to obtain my PS5. Otherwise, I'd be playing on PS4. And if you really think about it, PS4 actually has all of the options, or maybe not all of the options. They have a couple of options that the PlayStation 5 just does not have. Sounds of the Show, while I understand it was a very tedious endeavor in order to, give guys batting music, walk-up music, to insert, cheers and stuff like that, jeers, yells, things of that nature, things that I'm sure a whole lot of people didn't bother with, didn't touch, because for one, they either didn't play franchise, didn't really play Road to the Show, or they play Road to the Show and they didn't really care about that kind of thing, and just weren't knowledgeable on how to put the MP3s on the system the proper way, to upload it, make sure that it's not too large, or whatever the situation may be, in order to get, authentic-ish or authentic in total sound for people throughout the league. You have certain guys with their specific batting music. I honestly haven't paid that much attention to it, but there are people out there where, they have like whole MP3 sticks where they, if you wanted, if you wanted some of those sounds, they would just put the files out there, especially on Operation Sports. They've been doing that for a while now. On top of that, no year-to-year saves. I don't understand how, if 20 had year-to-year save from 19 to 20. If you stuck with the PS4, if you just happen to just want to stay with the PS4, you can't go 20 to 21, 21 to 22, and continue a franchise on and on and on. Maybe some of that's got to do with the ball player. I'm thinking that's probably the case, which honestly, I'll talk about that at a later time. But nonetheless, like I felt like that should have been a very easy transition. And, MLB, the league itself, if that was in their contractual agreement with SDS to get rid of sounds of the show, probably again because Xbox, I believe, cannot play MP3s or from an uploaded device like an MP3 or whatever. I don't understand that. I think that's just strictly a Microsoft thing. Then that should have just been something that they don't get. Like, I remember back in the day, I believe it was Pokemon. Actually, I think they may still do this now. If you got a different version of Pokemon, you got a different legendary Pokemon or something of that nature. Now, granted, I'm not up to snuff on Pokemon. I haven't played since like 1999. Okay, I had a Game Boy Color. That was the last real time I played it. I might have played it once or twice on Game Boy Advance. But still, the problem remains the same. And actually, it goes even further. PlayStation has a cloud. Why weren't we able to utilize that to transfer, save files such as franchise? Because I remember when transitioning from the 4 to my 5, I was able to transfer my franchise file from 4 to 5. Everything stayed the same as long as I uploaded it to the cloud. Now I understand maybe not everybody can afford PS Plus. I think it may only be $60 a year, so the cost is technically one game brand new, though they're up to $70 now, probably more than that, which means we're reverting back to the mid 90s when games would cost all kinds of wild prices, but that's another story. But yeah, why were we not able to utilize the cloud? Xbox also has a cloud, if I remember correctly. Why weren't they able to at least take their 21, upload it to the cloud, and take it to 22? The same thing should have been the same for rosters, like the Bacon's fictional roster, which I helped work on, and many others. I kid you not, it took the entire season from when MLB The Show came out till damn near a couple of days before the playoffs start, before we had the entire Bacon's fictional roster up and running. And less than 6 months later, we find out our work was basically for nothing. I can't say for nothing, because I personally will put out content with the Bacon's fictional roster probably in not too long of a time. It's going to be at least a couple weeks. So that means things like the Desert Venom series is going to end via a long sim, because there's no way in hell I can really foresee myself playing 21. Now granted, I don't get that many views anyway. I keep it 100. I don't get that many views anyway. When I do, it's honestly usually a live stream when I do Madden. And I hate Madden. I hate that damn game. That game legitimately frustrates me, and has done so for a very long time, despite the fact I haven't really played it in a decade. I understand Madden's long-time frustrations, and I'm not going to go there. I'm not. This is not about them. This is about SDS. This is about their decision, or maybe Major League Baseball's decision, which if you really sit there and think about it, if this is an MLB decision, Rob Manfred may not have anything to really do with this, but this sounds like something they would do. This sounds like something he would do. To somehow think that he should make it quote unquote fair to have MLB The Show's longtime features of year-to-year saves and year-to-year saves and the sounds of the show to be eliminated from the game. Maybe that was an SDS thing. I'm starting to hear that really might be the case. It quote-unquote hindered their ability to do so. I always thought that it was, what they did in the game. Maybe they were only really working on things that were in the background, The phases, things like, things like phases, things like updating contracts, though I'm not exactly sure how. They've kind of, in my opinion, went a little backwards on that towards the tail end of the PS4 into now PS5 era. And yeah, I'm just not seeing any reason why anybody with a PS5 would have any reason, or PlayStation in general, have any reason to really buy MLB The Show 22 unless you literally don't, unless you've never had MLB The Show 20, 21, 22, 20. If you've never actually played an MLB The Show game, it's your first one, congratulations. Like, the gameplay is great, despite what you hear from a lot of people. I think the hidden engine is taking a little bit of a tick backwards from 20. I think 20 had it, if not perfect, it was damn near there. Fielding has definitely been upgraded from 19 to 20 to 21. Actually, really since about 17. It's going up every year, and I know that's not a sexy thing to put on the back of the box. But, that's something that they have definitely prided themselves on doing. Pinpoint pitching is definitely a great thing. It has a learning curve that you really do need to practice with. And fortunately, one of the great features that they put in 21 was the practice mode. I love that shit. Like, I don't know. I had actually been kind of low-key begging for it for a while. I didn't think it would be something that would be put in the game, but it works really well. I'd like it to go a little further, like the ability to maybe, when you're practicing against a lineup, say you're pitching, you're able to keep going through the lineup. So if you go, say you get the first, second, and third batters out, you should be able to go to the fourth, fifth, and sixth. Just keep going through the lineup. See how things operate. Maybe play with a little bit of a stamina. Maybe, as you keep pitching, maybe you start to get an idea of how a pitcher's pitches when they get tired. The ability to. There was one other thing, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, but yeah, practice mode could probably use some kind of expansion. Maybe something a little better. And again, that's a minor thing. You're able right now to place pitches where you want them to. Specific pitches. If you want to just get fastballs, you can just select, I want just the fastballs. I want them in the corners. I want breaking balls. I want them yada yada. You can have it random. You can have it random where the pitcher's just going to throw what they feel like throwing. Yeah, I'm disappointed and saddened that, all the work that was put into the Bacon's fictional roster won't ever see the light of MLB The Show 22. And don't get me wrong, I've heard a rumor that they have upgraded the amount of people that they had working on franchise mode. It was previously 2. So from MLB The Show 14 till about 20, probably more like 21, about an 8-year period, they had 2 people working on it. Now, I'm not going to knock them and say that they should have done more. I mean, I would have liked to have seen more, but year-to-year saves prevented the ability to tack on kind of major features. Things like, well, actually, I will talk about that later, because I think Shohei Ohtani maybe his presence might be some kind of inclination as to what features we might see coming in 22. With that being said, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.